it's Michelle, and today I'm doing the final suggestion from our third contest winner of the egg die set contest. This suggestion was from LJ, and LJ suggested doing a watermelon patch with the shapes turned on their sides. And I've been kind of playing around with the idea to see what I could come up with, and I think it's working out pretty good, so I'm going to do that video for you guys today. I've used the smallest egg die from the set to be our watermelons, and I've got a few of those made up already, and I'm going to show you one example of how I did that. I used my Arteza Watercolor Real Brush pens just to make these little egg shapes look like a watermelon. So the first thing I did was take lemon yellow and orange rust, and that was just to make a little bit of a dark yellow spot on one side. You guys know that when you find a watermelon in the store, the side that has laid on the ground as it grew in the patch gets a little bit yellowy looking, sort of a rusty yellow. I've got a little bit of green on my water brush. So I just used a little bit of yellow and a little bit of the rust. And then I'm going to remove most of that with my water brush pen. I just want a little bit of a rusty color on one spot on the bottom side. And then I'm going to take green tea, and I'm going to use my die release tool to help me hold these small pieces still while I color them. And with my green tea color, I'm just going to put the color on there, kind of sloppy, working from end to end on our egg shape, or in this case, watermelon shape. And it doesn't look perfect. It looks splotchy, but that's what we want for a watermelon. Now I'm going to take crocodile green, and I'm just going to make some zigzags from end to end in a tight zigzag pattern that kind of curves with the watermelon shape. And that's going to be the stripes on our watermelon. And they can be zigzaggy and broken lines. And I think the more broken and irregular it is, the more it's going to look like a real watermelon. Okay, so that is looking a little bit like a watermelon. But our background color, I think, with the green tea is a little too yellowy. So I want to go over it again with that, this time picking up some of the dark of that crocodile green. And since my markers here are blendable watercolor markers, it's going to pick up that darker color and blend it together, and I'll get a better color overall for my watermelon. Let me bring that up and see if you guys can tell. It's looking pretty good, I think, like a watermelon. And then I'm going to come back with my crocodile green again, my darker one, and I'm going to do some very thin little squiggles in there using just the tip of my brushes. You know, if you press hard, you get a thicker line, and if you go very light and just touch the tips, you get very thin shapes. So I'm going to come back in and do a few of those. Very random and definitely broken with the thinner lines. And that's all it takes to create a watermelon. I think that is just adorable. And now I'm going to do one final thing. I'm going to take one of them and cut it in half. And I want to make this one look like the watermelon has been cut open. So I'm going to take my red marker and I'm going to color, leaving a border I'm just leaving about an 1/8 inch from the edge, as even as I can get it all around, and then just fill that area in with the red. And then I'm going to come in with my greens again. Hold that with my die release tool. And I want to make my green border, but I'm going to try to leave that white space between the red and the green. And this is a great example of using these markers without water for the most part. They still blend with each other very good without water. So I'm going to come back now with my crocodile green and add those squiggles into my light green area. And I think this has turned out to be such an adorable idea with these egg shapes. I probably wouldn't have thought of this one. I would have thought to use ovals, but again, the egg shape makes it look a little more realistic, and I just love these egg dies. So now I'm just taking black and making a few little watermelon seeds on there. I'm going to pick that up with my tweezers just because it's still wet. I've just got a white card base here, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is an A2 size. And then I've got a panel here which is 3 3/4 by 5. And that was ink blended a little bit with blue, a little darker at the top, getting lighter at the bottom to look like a sky. And then I just took a little stitched hillside border and made a little brown hillside there as the ground. Just a very thin border at the bottom, just enough to give the idea of the ground down there. And I've got some leafy vines here that I cut out from a die, and that's the same one that I used as the greenery on my Punch Art pumpkin, and I'll leave a link to that for you guys as well. And I think this was a wonderful idea. I really enjoy doing these contests. I had so much fun with this one, and I really enjoyed your all's ideas. And I really want to do some more contests like this in the future. So I think I'm going to put this where I don't have to cut off too much of the vine. Maybe let it hang over just slightly beyond the edge. Just slightly. I like the overhang sort of look, but this is just barely so that it won't really interfere with the envelope or anything like that. And I think I'm going to put my watermelons up on foam tape. And this is just some of the foam tape squares from Dollar Tree. And one of those fits perfectly on the back of each watermelon. I'm going to get those foam squares on, but before I peel off my backer, I'm going to lay them out and see what position I want them in before I put that to where it'll stick. I think I like that one right there. Stick that leaf down to the front of that one. I'm going to try to pull some of my leaves back up before they stick too permanently, because I want my vines coming in front of my watermelon some. Peel off that backer. I'm actually going to cut that leaf off. Put my watermelon here. And I can add this leaf back in over here. And for my slice, I'm going to cut one of my foam squares in half, lengthwise. And I'm going to put that just barely behind that leaf there. So that is it for LJ's watermelon patch. When you find an occasion for this card, you could go ahead and put a sentiment up here at the top in the sky above the watermelon patch, whatever suits your occasion. But today was just about LJ's watermelon patch, and this is just too cute. I absolutely love this one. So you guys be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of LJ's watermelon patch. I had so much fun with this. I absolutely love it. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already done that. And also be sure you click the bell next to the subscribe button to get notifications whenever I upload a new video. Give me a like over on my Facebook page. And be sure to join our Facebook group, Crafty Minds. Also follow me on Pinterest and Instagram, and don't forget to visit my blog. I'll put the links to everything in the description below, so be sure and check them out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.